From the heart of Texas, this is Central Texas News Now.
George Bush was a charter member of the greatest generation. Be kind to people, he would say, and he was. Because our glory, George, was to have had you as our president and as such a friend.
The 41st President of the United States rests in peace right now. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Dennis Turner. President George H.W. Bush returns to College Station for the last time on a whirlwind of a day across the Lone Star State. Let's get right into today's events which captivated the nation. Lindsay Lippin has braved the dreary weather all day long in College Station for the final salute to President Bush. Lindsay, I understand the motorcade that brought Mr. Bush to his final resting place passed right behind you.
It did, and it's been a touching tribute from the beginning to the very end here. And President Bush is now in his final resting place here at his presidential library. And I can tell you the weather is no match for the Aggie spirit and the spirit of this president. Very evident today. The nation's farewell to America's 41st president ended today in College Station, but the day of ceremonies started with family and friends honoring George H.W. Bush in a private memorial service this morning in Houston at the same church where the Bush family held the funeral service for their matriarch, Barbara Bush, in April. George P. Bush, one of the former president's grandsons, delivered a moving speech during the service.
George Herbert Walker Bush is the most gracious, most decent, most humble man that I will ever know. And it's the honor of a lifetime to share his name.
Bush's funeral in Houston also brought out some big names, including some who sang. Country music star Reba McEntire sung the Lord's Prayer at the funeral service. The Grammy winner followed the Oak Ridge Boys, who were one of the president's favorite musical acts. The group sang Amazing Grace during the service. The church was also filled with a number of other celebrities. Houston Texans player J.J. Watt, former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott were all in attendance. Other notable names to Central Texas included former Texas A&M football coach R.C. Slocum and businessman and former Houston Astros owner Drayton McClain. Now, hundreds of people lined up along the train route to welcome Bush back home to Aggieland. Holly Stouffer takes us to that final farewell.
A crowd of hundreds fell silent as the train carrying George H.W. Bush rolled into College Station. American flags waved with pride as tears fell for 41.
It's pretty emotional today, so we're trying to keep it together.
But the low quickly turned to a high as his loved ones waved to the crowd.
Oh my gosh, they're waving.
Sarah Hooper got in hours ahead of Bush's arrival. She couldn't miss the chance to support a member of her Aggie family.
It's a big moment, and the family means a lot to this community, so.
A historic, touching moment she will never forget.
Because George and Laura. Did you
in
see
College
them?
Station, Holly Stouffer, Central Texas News Now.
And Bush is being laid to rest next to his beloved wife as well as his young daughter, Robin. And George W. Bush says he finds peace knowing that he will be hugging Robin and holding his mother's hand once again. Now let's take a closer look at that train. A locomotive unveiled in 2005 for a special exhibit at George H.W. Bush's presidential library was used to pull the late president's funeral train. The 4,300 horsepower machine carried Bush's remains to his final resting place here. A car with transparent walls allowed mourners along the tracks to see the president's flag-draped coffin. It is the 8th presidential funeral train and the first since Dwight D. Eisenhower's remains were carried from Washington to his native Kansas. Abraham Lincoln had the nation's first presidential funeral train back in 1865. Now, the Texas A&M University campus was closed today for the funeral of the 41st president, but Stephanie Escobar was on campus as people lined up to say goodbye as he returned to his second home.
With messages and banners, Texas A&M remembers a president who became part of their Aggie family. Michael Jacobs remembers meeting President George H.W. Bush as a kid in Dallas and as an adult working at Cafe Excel.
He was just always so encouraging of all of our endeavors, encouraging us through school.
Jacobs wanted to pay his respects to the president as the 4141 train made its way to his final resting place on Thursday.
I was so much more than I expected.
Jennifer Cupid wanted to share the experience with the younger ones in her family.
We got to see his son too, so that was an amazing experience. I've never seen him before in person, so to be able to share that experience with them and have that opportunity was something that was definitely worth it.
It all made braving the rain worth it for A&M graduates Sue and Mike Norris, who wanted to say goodbye to one of their own.
It's a part of history that we have a chance to participate in. We admire a lot of the qualities that George Bush had.
Qualities that prompted a business owner and Aggie to make a shirt to remember this moment.
Really, today is a day to honor and remember the life of a president who stood for moral decency and political civility, someone who was a hero, a patriot.
A moment that will leave a lasting impression on all of them.
Sad, of course, but also could just really feel the energy of God following the train.
In College Station, Stephanie Escobar, Central Texas News Now.
You could also feel that energy right here at the library. Now, classes will resume again tomorrow. A lot of people came out today, but they've been coming out here all week, especially coming here to George H.W. Bush's Presidential Library, which is lit up beautifully behind me, those flags at half staff. People who visited were able to sign a condolence book located inside while sharing the memories they made with the 41st president. The founder of a nonprofit organization called Project Unity, who met Bush in 2001, even came out. The group, which works to strengthen parenting, prevent child abuse, and provide medical care for people with HIV, won an award from Bush for their service. He created the Daily Point of Lights Award back in 1990 to honor people who make a difference. It aimed to highlight the volunteer movement.
His love for family, his love for country, his love for service is, just rampant across what he's done in this world. And as a community, we mourn him, we celebrate him, we will continually remember him and what he's given to us.
The library is set to reopen tomorrow, and admission will be free through Saturday. From the White House, President Bush formally recognized more than 1,000 volunteers as Points of Light, highlighting the volunteer movement that became a defining mission of the Bush administration. Points of Light then reinstated the Daily Point of Light Award in 1998 with a mission to honor those who take action to create change in their community. In 2014, the program expanded to include the United Kingdom. To date, more than 6,000 awards have honored individuals who represent the heart and soul of our country, and through them, the legacy of President George H.W. Bush lives on. Now, if you want to honor the legacy of the former president, you can pledge your time to volunteer and become a point of light in your community. If you want to pledge your service, donate, or share with others, we have a link to do so on our KXXV mobile app. A cold, damp day here in College Station as we honored the 41st president, but that weather wasn't enough to cancel a scheduled flyover, which still took place despite those gloomy conditions. And I can tell you, as we looked up and we saw that final missing man formation executed just perfectly, it was the most moving moment that we had here at the Presidential Library. And Matt, thankfully the weather held out for that.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment there, and you could really see the silhouette of the planes. And as we check out what we are looking at currently across the region on our First Alert Central Texas radar, you can see that we do have showers that are just staying right along I-35 for the most part, slowly starting to make their way eastbound toward Franklin, Groesbeck, Mexia, Fairfield, and down toward Bryan College Station as well. You've really missed out on a lot of the rain so far. That's good news for folks down there, but we are seeing the rain continue to develop, and that will be the case over the next few days. flood watch in effect. Corsicana to Waco to Lampasas and down to the southeast toward Bryan College Station and all the way to the Texas coast. The heaviest of the rain will likely be across our southeastern counties as we head through the next couple of days. And look at the rain falling on the Extraco Eagle Eye right now there in downtown Waco, looking at I-35. So slow it down on area highways. And you can also see it's quite wet in Bell County on I-14. And temperatures are on the cool side, but it's going to continue to get colder. We have our temperatures currently into the low to mid 50s. We're really not going to drop much tonight. We may drop about another 2 to 3 degrees. But as we make our way into tomorrow, the temperatures will continue to drop, and that's when the heavier rain will start as well.
All right, thanks, Matt. We'll check back with you in just a minute. And Lindsay, hang in there in that weather for now. We'll check back with you for more of those touching stories on President Bush's final homecoming around 6:30. Well, ahead, a little holiday cheer comes to Fort Hood as families get a gift to get them in the holiday mood. We'll see the glee provided by a tree, a Christmas miracle that makes these folks positively lyrical. And preparations underway for another holiday wonder, the 56th annual Killeen Christmas Parade. Just when you can be a part of the festivities coming up. On this day 11 of our 25 Days of Giving, a special gift for some very special people. Hunter Davis shows us how one nonprofit gives the gift of Christmas to military families around the country.
Rain or shine, it's Christmas time.
We're excited.
Which is why people on Fort Hood waited in line for a long...
We started making the line at 11.
Long time. So what was the queue for? Why are people waiting?
We want the big, tall, fluffy ones out there.
It was to grab a tree the Christmas Spirit Foundation was donating.
It's a really good feeling. It makes you feel like you have a family. It makes you feel still good, comfortable, appreciated.
And Christmas is so magical.
A magical feeling made possible through Trees for Troops, a program making sure soldiers and their families don't get left out of the loop.
Right now it's a little bit tight, so we get a lot of help from people, from their donations, so it's nice.
Wrapped up tight and decorated with notes, soldiers and spouses left with trees and hope.
This will be our first Christmas that we don't spend together, so we're still keeping the spirits up, you know, just getting trees and decorating the house. And I send him a lot of pictures of Bryson helping me decorate, so he's still there with us, like in my heart.
And for one soldier currently deployed, Central Texas News Now has a gift from his little boy.
Say I love you, Papa, and come home safe because I miss you, and I'm walking now, and I'm talking, and I'm doing all these cool things now, Pop. Love you, Dad.
On Fort Hood.
Thank you to everybody.
Hunter Davis, Central Texas News Now.
Nice rhymes, Hunter. Since 2005, the Trees for Troops program has provided more than 191,000 free trees to military families across the country. Central Texas News Now will keep spreading holiday cheer throughout the season. Our 25 Days of Giving continues right up until Christmas, highlighting the giving spirit of all of Central Texas. If you have a story or an idea you'd like to see featured during our 25 Days of Giving, send it to us by clicking Contact Us on the KXXV app or at kxxv.com. Well, today's drizzle started early and kept us wet all day, but real rain continues heading our way. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines joins us now with a look at what we can expect tonight. More drizzle, or are we going to get into the real rain?
And then by tomorrow morning,
serious
the faucet
rain
turns on. And it's going to turn on for a while here, Central Texas. So we warned you about it. Hope you have the rain gear handy as we head out to work and school tomorrow. And right now, if you're heading out this evening, take it easy on those area roadways. It is wet across Central Texas, extending from Hillsboro through Waco, Temple, Killeen, all the way down to Austin, even up into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Drizzle and light rain that extends over toward I-45 as well. 190 and I-14 has been seeing rain as well. And Hillsboro, Meridian, you're still seeing that. Same for Waco, Woodway over toward Gatesville. And Temple, Killeen, Belton, you're also seeing some rain. Killeen lightening up a little for you, but still some drizzle around there. And we will continue to see this meander across the area, and more will continue to develop in the coming hours as our storm system's on approach. And we do have a flood watch in effect for most of us. It does not include you folks in Hillsboro back to San Saba, but it does include the rest of Central Texas: Waco, Temple, Killeen, over towards Centerville, Madisonville, and Bryan College Station, for the potential of at least a little bit of river flooding. And then to the northwest, wow, this is going to be a big storm system for Texas. Look at this. Winter storm watch is in effect for Oklahoma and West Texas. That goes until Sunday morning. So we will be seeing quite a bit of action. Travel is going to be snarled, to say the least, especially across Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle down to the South Plains. For us, we are going to have wet roadways and, again, ponding on the roadways as well. Extraco Eagle Eye in Coppers Cove, well, wet streets and temperatures in the low 50s. Notice our dew point, though, is sitting at 50, so until that starts dropping, our temperature is going to stay pretty steady for the remainder of this evening. Speaking of temperatures, our future track will take us into the 40s from I-35 to the west as we head into tomorrow morning. Still holding on to the 50s across our southeastern counties, but north winds take over through the day tomorrow, and that is going to chill things down. And by Saturday morning, we're going to have temperatures into the low to mid 40s across the area, maybe even a few 30s sneaking in to our western counties. And as we head through the day on Saturday, temperatures don't go up, they continue to go down. We're looking at upper 30s, Waco, Gatesville, Hillsboro, and to the northwest, above freezing, but still a cold, raw, damp day expected, with 40s going all the way down to Bryan College Station. The rain coming in tonight by midnight and into tomorrow morning. Looks like we will have light rain, and then notice here on the edge of your screen, rain coming in by lunchtime and continuing into the afternoon hours. So it is going to be a wet afternoon. That will be round one. That could bring about an inch of rain to most of the area. Then round two will likely come in as we head into Friday evening and Friday night, with another band of heavy rain blowing across central Texas as we move towards Saturday morning. And then a few showers will be left over as we get toward 5 o'clock on Saturday, with drizzle and those gusty north winds. And look at this above the banner. We may have some snow flurries as far south as I-20, so not too far away. Future rain amounts showing that we will have copious amounts of rain. Again, by 6 p.m. tomorrow, looking about an inch for most of us. And then we'll be adding to that as we head into Saturday morning with 2 to 4 inches of rain, especially along and east of I-35. And that's where the flood watch is in effect. First Alert Central Texas weather app, of course, will have all the latest for you. And as we check out your forecast, temperatures are going to be in the upper 40s, falling into the mid 40s on Saturday and continuing to fall from there with the rain chances. And then Sunday, it shuts down, but it's still going to be cold. So it's not the best of weekends to have outdoor plans. Let's watch some movies, binge watch some TV shows, do whatever you have to do to stay inside this weekend, because it's going to be a cold December weekend.
And not just one heavy rain band, but two now.
Yeah, we could have two. Yep.
Wow. Okay, thanks. Well, ahead, police in Temple have a murder investigation underway after gunfire interrupts the holiday hustle and bustle. Why police need your help in finding the person responsible for a shooting in a Walmart parking lot full of busy shoppers. And tragedy in the Pacific as 2 military planes collide in the frantic search tonight for several missing Marines. A desperate search continues tonight to find a number of missing U.S. Marines on board 2 military aircraft which collided off the coast of Japan.
They risk their lives every day to protect Japan and to protect this region, and sometimes they pay the greatest cost.
Authorities say they found 1 U.S. Marine alive, another dead following the crash. A rescue operation continues right now in the Pacific Ocean as searchers look for 5 others still missing.
I'd also like to say that my heart goes out to the families and the colleagues of the Marines that are involved in this tragedy.
Officials say the collision of an F-18 fighter jet and a KC-130 mid-air refueling tanker may have happened during an attempted refueling. The Marine Corps says it took place in the middle of the night during training 200 miles off the coast. On the crime beat tonight, a shooting at a Temple Walmart leaves a teenager dead. Police say it happened at the Walmart off West Adams Avenue around 9:45 last night. Officers responded to find 18-year-old Isaac Kohas with a gunshot wound. An ambulance took him to Baylor Scott and White, where he died from his injuries. Police have an investigation underway but haven't made any arrests in the case. If you know anything about what happened, call police. A Harker Heights woman will spend decades in prison after pleading guilty to 2 murders last year. A judge sentenced Alicia Smith to 35 years in prison after she admitted to the murders of Damian Hopkins and Dexter Prather. The judge handed the sentence down following several days of testimony from a number of witnesses. The sentence comes after police said 5 shots rang out at Club Empire in Harker Heights in March of last year. The shots hit both victims, killing them. Police believe a fight over a dice game preceded the shooting. Smith turned herself in days later. Police describe her as the only shooter. The former chief and lieutenant of the Little River Academy Volunteer Fire Department face serial criminal charges right now. Authorities arrested David Borders and his son William Borders after a representative of the fire department made a report in July to the Bell County Sheriff's Department about missing funds. Deputies reviewed financial records and saw a number of cash advances from the checking account. Both resigned. Bank records and an ATM surveillance video showed both men withdrawing money. David faces a theft charge. William faces a charge of credit card abuse. Still ahead, a decades-old parade marches on. What we can expect at this year's Killeen Christmas Parade and where we can get the best view of all the festivities. Plus, a Central Texas teen knows what she wants to do after graduation. We'll show you how her high school plans to help her reach her goal. The city of Killeen invites homeowners to show off their festively decorated homes in the annual Outdoor Decorating Contest. The Celebrate Killeen committee hosts the competition each year to foster neighborhood and community pride. Displays can include lighting, figures, animation, and other festive features. The public will then select their favorites. Entrants must submit an application online with a picture by Monday at midnight. Organizers will announce the winners December 20th. We have a link on how to submit your pictures on our Central Texas News app. And this weekend, the 56th annual Killeen Christmas Parade steps off despite the weather. It's set to start at 4:30 Saturday afternoon. This year's theme, A Texas Christmas. Co-Grand Marshals Lieutenant General Paul Funk, Commanding General of 3 Corps in Fort Hood, and Charlie Watts, the 2018 Roy J. Smith Award recipient, will preside over the parade. The route travels along Avenue D, beginning at College Street, and then turns left on Gray, left on Sprott, and then left on 2nd Street. You'll find food and craft vendors available before and during the parade. Hopefully those parade goers won't need their umbrellas to enjoy the parade. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines joins us now with a look at a very changeable weather situation.
Well, it's going to be really cold out there, and it's going to be damp. I can go ahead and tell you that right now.
So be prepared for anything.
It's going to feel like a Christmas parade for sure on Saturday, and the dampness taking over tonight as well. First Alert Central Texas radar showing just areas of light rain and drizzle across our area. And we noticed here, Jeff's here as well, we noticed a little boundary making its way and developing some new shower activity from Gatesville to Waco. That is the first weak cold front coming through. So temperatures will slowly start to go down as we make our way through the rest of tonight. And we do have flood watches in effect, including Waco, Temple, Killeen, all the way down through southeast and south Texas from San Antonio to Houston over into Louisiana. So messy, wet roadways expected over the next 48 hours here. Then up to the northwest, winter storm watches in effect for the South Plains up toward Lubbock and then up into the Panhandle near Amarillo. That goes up into Oklahoma and into northern Arkansas as well. Snow totals out there, not quite as high as what we were seeing yesterday, but we still could see some decent amounts of snow across West Texas. And the storm system's actually shifted a little farther to the south on this run. So we could see several inches of snow out in West Texas extending into Oklahoma. What this is not showing you is ice accumulations up to ½ an inch across Oklahoma. That is going to provide very dangerous travel up there. Best chance for flooding in our area will be in the Brazos Valley, where we have a moderate risk for river flooding extending down close to I-10 and into southeast Texas as well, but still a slight risk for the rest of central Texas. So we're going to continue to watch all this as a pretty potent storm system rolls our way.
Matt, thanks. Ready for the real world, what Coppers Cove High School does to help students after they cross the stage at graduation. Plus, Waco remembers celebrated veteran Doris Miller. We'll take you to today's big events.
The 41st President of the United States is now laid to rest here at his presidential library. Coming up, we'll have more live coverage from College Station.
We rejoice, Mr. President, that you are safely tucked in now and through the ages with God's loving arms around you. Because our glory, George, was to have had you as our president and as such a friend.
That was former Secretary of State James Baker, who was a good friend of President George H.W. Bush, trying to hold back tears as he spoke at President Bush's funeral today in Houston. You know, the planning for today's event started almost 2 decades ago, and every single detail was planned out. The train left from Houston and got here to College Station a few hours later, but I can tell you, in all of the small towns that it met along the way, including as it left Houston, you could see crowds of people lined up along the train route, proud of this president, proud of his legacy of service. You know, little kids holding American flags, adults holding American flags, as well as signs of support. And just the presence of people today shows you how beloved this president was and will always be. And then the motorcade got here to Aggieland. And it was very evident today why President George H.W. Bush chose Aggieland to be the location of his library. It opened back in the late 90s here, and he was always a presence here on campus. I was a student starting here in 1999, and I can tell you, when you go off to college and you leave home, whether it's many hours away or if you live here in Bryan College Station, that experience of leaving your parents for the first time, of course you look to find father figures, and they were really like adopted grandparents here at Texas A&M for all of the students. They interacted with the students here, but specifically he enjoyed the values that are here at Texas A&M. And so we saw all of the cadets lined up along the pathway here to the library as his motorcade came in, and then it came around this fountain behind me and then went on there to the gravesite, which is just behind the library. And if today is any indication, we know that many people will want to visit President Bush's gravesite. Of course, now he is buried next to his beloved wife, as well as his young daughter, Robin, who died at a very young age of leukemia. So he's laid to rest here, and we have heard that people will be allowed to come visit his grave as early as Saturday. The library will reopen as well, and it will be free from now until Saturday as well. Dennis, back to you.
Lindsay, what a privilege to be in College Station on this special day. Thanks. We'll check back with you later on. Meantime, on the eve of Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, Americans take time to honor those who proudly served our country that day. Among the survivors of the attack, Waco native Doris Miller, noted for his heroism and bravery. Today, veterans from across the country joined together for a flag-raising ceremony in Central Texas to honor Miller, who served his country bravely during the surprise military strike by the Imperial Japanese Navy. As torpedoes and bombs destroyed ships, Miller jumped into action, firing back until he ran out of ammunition. He rescued injured sailors, carrying them through oil and water to safety, saving dozens of lives. The young Waco sailor became an emblem of patriotism. He became the first African American to earn the Navy Cross, the third highest honor given by the U.S. Navy at the time.
The story behind Doris Dory Miller is an incredible story. It means so much to us. The extraordinary selflessness that he had to do what he did under the quick thinking under attack, but to do what he wasn't trained to do.
Nearly 2 years after the Pearl Harbor attacks, Miller died, killed in action during an attack on his ship during the Battle of Macon. Tomorrow, the Doris Miller Memorial Statue dedication will take place on Pearl Harbor Day at noon inside Waco's Bledsoe Miller Community Center. Coppers Cove High School takes career preparedness to the next level by bringing employers in to conduct mock interviews with students. Olivia Leveda shows us how the interviews help the students prepare and employers find potential future employees.
10th grader Shayna Connell says she knows what she wants to do after high school.
Probably to go into law school and become a defense attorney.
and study for stuff like that.
She says that career will require good communication.
It's getting to know different people, new people that I don't really know that well.
In preparation for her future and theirs, she and her classmates got some practice in mock interviews through their speech communication class.
I was really nervous.
We came up with the idea. We reached out to a lot of the community business owners, people around Cove, and they came with open arms.
I know for me, it was very scary to go to my first interview at 16, and I got sick on the way there, not knowing what to expect. So to help the students get over that fear of kind of just getting some groundwork to understand they're just trying to get to know you in the 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 30 during that interview of the first job, really helps them to calm their nerves and realize that the person on the other side of the table is just as nervous as they are sometimes.
Shayna says the practice helped. She's not nervous anymore, and she's glad her first interview happened in class.
If you walk into like an interview and you don't really know what you're talking about, it's just not going to be good. I think it really, really prepares us.
In Copper's Cove, Olivia Leveda, Central Texas News Now.
And today marked day 2 of the class's mock interviews, and tomorrow even more students will get to participate. MoviePass changes one more time how the subscription service hopes to win back some of its old customers. And the nominations revealed for the 2019 Golden Globes. We'll take a look back at some of the biggest films of the year.
And rain is starting across the area. It is light rain right now, but by this time tomorrow we'll be tracking heavier rain across the area. And that could go right into your weekend. I'll have more coming up.
Hollywood's Golden Night takes place in just one more month. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association announced its nominations for the 2019 Golden Globes this morning. As ABC's Natalie Brunell reports, the stars honored say they're thrilled about the attention.
You're my vice. Well, George,
The 2019 Golden Globe nominations are in. Leading the films with 6 bids, the highly anticipated Vice, starring Christian Bale, who gained 40 pounds to play former Vice President Dick Cheney and is now up for a Globe along with co-stars Amy Adams and Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, right. I like that.
Blockbuster romance picture A Star is Born clinched 5 nominations, recognizing Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, who also directed the film. For the first time, 4 of the 10 films up for Best Picture have non-white directors, including mega hit Black Panther.
I think it's amazing. I'm really excited that we did get the nomination.
But female directors were shut out again. Last year, the lack of inclusion prompting this onstage jab.
And here are the all-male nominees.
You really should have told me that you're like Prince William of Asia.
Constance Wu, nominated for her role in Crazy Rich Asians, would be the first Asian actress to win her category. She responded saying, quote, "I am beside myself with excitement. I never imagined something like this would happen for me because I have never seen it happen to another Asian American actress before." And for the first time, the ceremony will also have an Asian host. Actress Sandra Oh will be joined by Andy Samberg. Natalie Brunell, ABC News, Los Angeles.
MoviePass gives it another go with 3 new pricing plans. The Select plan allows people to see 3 2D movies each month, but not during the film's opening weekend. The company will announce available titles a week ahead of time. The second plan, called All Access, allows customers to see 3 2D movies a month at any time during their run in theaters. The most expensive plan, called Red Carpet, also limits subscribers to 3 movies, but they can see films in special formats like IMAX or 3D. The plans start at $10, $15, and $20 a month, respectively. Prices vary on where you live, and they begin in January. Time to check your medicine cabinet. Why stores have begun pulling baby ibuprofen off the shelves across the U.S. And Apple Watch adds an important feature. We'll explain when one of the most anticipated new functions of the latest Apple Watch goes into effect.
Rain continues to develop across central Texas tonight. It is light rain across the area from Meridian to Hillsboro over to Corsicana, Mejia, Groesbeck, Marlin, Waco, Temple, Killeen, Gatesville, down to Georgetown. But this light rain will slowly start to add up. It is starting to slicken up the roadways out there as well, as it's all up and down I-35, extending along Highway 77 and continuing toward the I-45 corridor. So slow down. It is going to be wet out there over the next 48 hours or so. A flood watch is in effect from Corsicana to Waco through Gatesville and Lampasas down through Georgetown, Austin, over toward Bryan College Station. So it includes most of central Texas. Now I think the heaviest of the rain is going to be down here in the Brazos Valley, but we're going to be close enough. We're going to have to watch the exact track of this storm system. As the high clouds are moving across the area, moisture levels are going up all across the state. And our storm system is out here west of LA. It will pinwheel in tonight into the Baja of Mexico and continue across northern Mexico before it finally ejects out over the state as we head into Saturday. Extraco Eagle Eye in Killeen. It is a cool night and it will continue to get slowly cooler over the next 24 hours. Temperatures in the 50s. Enjoy that, because by this time tomorrow night we'll probably be into the mid 40s and it will continue to go down from there. And speaking of that, your future track temperatures showing us into the upper 40s and low 50s in the morning as cooler air begins to spill in from West Texas, and that will keep us in the 40s all day long tomorrow. And as north winds pick up at 15 to 25 miles per hour, it is going to feel rather cold outside, and it doesn't get any better as we head into Saturday. 30s showing up to the west, 40s for the rest of us, and with that north wind Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock, these are actual air temperatures in the 30s. It'll feel like the upper 20s with drizzle and light rain continuing to fall. So light rain out there now through midnight. And then as we head into tomorrow morning, rain starts to develop once again. Could have some pretty good rain moving across the area late morning into the early afternoon. Then maybe a slight break coming in after about 5 o'clock for our western counties. And then another wave of rain will be coming in as we head into Friday night. And that could be the heaviest batch that moves through our area. So this is 3 o'clock Saturday morning, going right into the afternoon hours on Saturday, showing you that we will still have the clouds around. And even though it's not showing much in the way of rain, we still may have drizzle falling from the sky. Computer models have come down just a little bit from where they were just about 24 hours ago, but we're still expecting a healthy amount of moisture across our region. 2 to 4 inches of rain possible, especially from Waco south and east, and that's where the flood watch is. 1 to 2 inches of rain will be possible west of I-35 as we head through the day on Saturday. So that's total accumulation. That's why we may see the potential of a little river flooding out there. First Alert Central Texas weather app, of course, will have all the latest for you. And as we check out your forecast, look at the 40s. We'll go 49 tomorrow, falling temperatures through the day, continuing to fall Saturday. That's what the two arrows mean. 100% chance of rain on Friday, 70% on Saturday, and then finally it starts to dry out as we head through the first part of next week. Maria Pinero, congratulations to you. You are the umbrella winner for tonight, and come pick it up because we're going to need the umbrellas for the next couple of days.
Not a minute too soon, right?
No.
All right, thanks. Well, the aftermath of the romaine recall. Can we safely eat lettuce again? What the FDA says we can eat now without worry, and what it wants to warn us about. The new Apple Watch Series 4 will launch a heart monitor function. The electrocardiogram can't detect all heart rhythm abnormalities or the electrical changes associated with a heart attack, but it can help detect a condition known as atrial fibrillation, the second most common cause of death around the world. That's that feeling that we feel when we feel something fluttering in our chest. Symptoms often go away before a person can get to a doctor, making it hard to diagnose. Once the electrocardiogram function gets set up, the Apple Watch can also share results with doctors. The feature became available via a software update today. Tonight, a big recall involving a medicine many of us have at home. The maker of store brands of infant ibuprofen, including Walmart, CVS, and Family Dollar, has voluntarily recalled 3 kinds of the medicine. Treece Pharma says the products may have ibuprofen at higher than normal concentrations. The brands of infant ibuprofen include Equate from Walmart, CVS Health, and Family Wellness at Family Dollar. If you have any of those, you should check with Treece Pharma to make sure that it comes under the recall. For more information, check out our KXXV mobile app. And after a massive romaine lettuce recall due to an E. coli outbreak, many folks wonder if we can eat it safely again. The FDA says yes, but only if you know where it comes from. They say 6 counties in California have links to the current outbreak of E. coli. The FDA says romaine lettuce grown anywhere else appears safe. If the leafy greens come from Monterey, San Benito, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, or Ventura counties, do not eat them. Federal health officials continue investigating that outbreak to now. Now let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines with one more look at weather. Matt?
And we are tracking some light rain across the area tonight. It's really been concentrated right along the I-35 corridor, and it's really not moving much. So we will continue with the rain across the area tonight. Temperatures in the morning not going too far from where we are right now, into the upper 40s, and we will continue to see rain chances ramp up area-wide up to 80% tomorrow morning. And make sure you have your First Alert Central Texas weather app ready to go to use the radar portion tomorrow.
Thanks, Matt. Our crews in College Station have worked out in the wet, blustery weather all day on this day of honor for President Bush. Let's return to Lindsay Lippman outside the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library in College Station. Lindsay, has quiet descended on the A&M campus now that today's events have concluded?
It really has. We are the final crew out here. They are breaking down some of the setup here. So everyone is gone for now, but I have a feeling there will be many visitors in the days to come. We will have continued coverage tonight at 10 o'clock, but for now, we leave you with a look back at today's events honoring the 41st President of the United States.
George Herbert Walker Bush is the most gracious, most decent, most humble man that I will ever know.
For decades, we have sang for him.
And he talked about, you know, creating a kinder, gentler nation, and I'm here to say thank you for putting that out there, Mr. President.
Be kind to people, he would say, and he was.
He had humility, integrity, honesty.
A great man. It's the least I could do.